Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video we're going to be making this gift box which has a lid which opens fully like so. The box is 4 inches square at the base and 4 inches high to the tallest point. It's a quick box to put together, so let me show you how I made it. Start with 2 pieces which are either the width of A4, so 8 1/4, or the width of US letter, times 4.5 inches. Along the long side, score at 4 and 8. And you will either have a 1/2 inch glue tab or a 1/4 inch glue tab. Rotate and along the short side score at 4 inches. Take the second piece and again score at 4 and 8. Rotate and score at 4 inches. Fold and burnish along the centre score line of this piece. Place it in your scoreboard so that your tab is on the right hand side, and make a pencil mark or a notch with your score tool at 1 inches, 2 inches and 3 inches. So we've got 3 notches on our fold line. Take a stylus and ruler, and we're now going to score from each of the notch marks up to the corner diagonally. So from here to here, here to here, here to here, and do the same in this direction up to the top of the score line. So we're doing it to the end of the score line rather than the end of the cardstock. So we're going to create a V shape. Like so. So if you've made pencil marks, you need to get rid of those. Place your piece back in your scoreboard, and at 2.5 inches, score down to the diagonal, like so. And do the same at 5.5 inches, like so. So your piece will look something like this. So they will be our 2 side pieces, and in addition, for the base you'll need a square which is 4 by 4. And I've made this so that the base is independent, so that it's more economical with the cardstock. Okay, let's take our non-diagonal score line piece, fold and burnish along all of the score lines. I've got my glue tab on the right hand side, cut up the centre score line to the horizontal to split the tabs. Take a wedge from this tab. So these larger tabs are going to be so that we can stick the base panel on. Repeat on this tab and then remove the bottom right hand corner, like so. Take a wedge from this tab and take a wedge from this tab. That's the 2 sides of the box. So now we have our additional score line piece. Fold along the base glue tab and the end glue tab. So we'll prepare this as we did the other piece. So we'll cut up the centre score line, take a wedge from the ends of the glue tab, remove the bottom right hand rectangle, rotate the piece. We've got our glue tab on the left hand side, cut down the vertical score line to the diagonal, so the additional 2.5 inch score line. Do the same on the other side. So we've split this piece. Fold and burnish the tabs back. So these tabs are what is going to help the lid. So you want to burnish those, get a nice neat, particularly as you get to the pointed end. So do the same and just move these tabs out of the way. And now we're going to remove this section that's been left behind. So I'm cutting along the score line to the center point like so, and then do the same on this side to remove that section. And now we want to fold and burnish the remaining diagonals. The top diagonal is going to be a valley fold and the bottom diagonal is going to be a mountain fold. Just take your time, gently manipulate them into place, paying particular attention when you get to the point. So we can manipulate that one into place like so. Just pull the two towards each other like so. Do the same. So this one, top one, is going to be a valley fold. So I'm going to do the same, working my way along, gently manipulating that out into place. So if you work on them independently, don't worry about the fact that this one's gone flat. So that will start to come in towards each other. And then if you pop this one out, that will go back towards its mountain, and you can push them towards each other and start to close the piece up. Just keep an eye on all the folds, particularly where the angles narrow at the top. So if we push those together, you can see that those score lines are going into their positions. And then you can go in and burnish along the score lines. That creates this faceted V look. If you have your tab on the left and you lay the angled piece on and just hold them up against each other, so that one's going to sit under there like that, you can see how much, if any, you then need to cut off of the tab so that it doesn't show and that it's tucked underneath. That one, it does actually sit under this bottom V, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm now going to add glue to this glue tab and add this piece on, and then add glue onto this piece and secure it at the other end. So here's our box now joined together, and I'm going to just flip over the base glue tabs, add glue to the base glue tabs, and then take the 4-inch piece and sit that on the top and use the base to square off the sides of the box. So the box is not going to stand up, obviously, because you've got this angled side, so you're going to need to maybe get one side in position and then stand the piece up on one of its flat sides and just get the base into place. Once I'm happy that that's aligned, flip the box up and just go in with my score tool and burnish down the tabs. If you do go off slightly at all, you can obviously trim round any overhang with your craft knife, and just be careful when you're burnishing from the inside that you're not actually moving the base. Now I have cut myself an additional square. This is 1/16 of an inch under 4 inches, and I am going to have that sit that in the bottom just to cover up that base, but this is purely optional. So whilst that's drying, we'll make a start on the lid, and for the lid I have a piece which is 5 by 5. On all 4 sides, score at 1/2 inch. Rotate, and we now want to score diagonally from the top corner of the cardstock through to the other corner, and make sure that you go through the corner here where the score lines intersect. That's the most important part. So I'm going to use my marked track on my scoreboard with the diagonal running from the top right down to the bottom left. Score within the top ½ inch glue tab at 2 inches. Rotate, the diagonals now running from top left down to bottom right. Score at 3 inches. Fold and burnish along all of the outside score lines. Rotate the piece so that the top additional score lines are over in the top left hand side, at the top and the side like so. Remove the bottom left hand corner and the bottom right hand corner and take a wedge from the end. This glue tab is going to be the hinge for the box. Rotate the piece so the hinge is now on the left. Remove the bottom right hand corner. So this is our hinge at the back, our inside flap for the lid on the left. This bottom corner here we want to remove. And we're now going to create the elements of the lid which are going to fit down into this section here. So move along to the additional score line and cut up to the horizontal. So we've got this little tab here. Rotate and remove this long outer section. Rotate, so I've got my small tab in the bottom left. Cut up the additional score line. Rotate and remove this long section. So we're left with these 2 tabs. And once you've cut your 2 tabs, just fold over the diagonal, and you want to fold it as a mountain fold. This shape tab is going to be the hinge, which is going to sit in the top like so. This is going to sit down inside the box like so. And then these 2, let's just slot that in there. These 2 pieces are going to come down and they are going to slot in the front like so. So that is how the lid is going to sit on the box. So now we can add glue to the shaped back hinge, sit that into the side of the box, and that's obviously going to go, if you have your box in this orientation with the shaped element at the bottom right, the hinge is going to go on this side here. I'm just going to flip that around and get that into place. Now the lid will close like so. That slots down that side nicely, and these 2 fit down and slot in the box like so. And it's still, I can still get in there and get that lid open. If you wanted, if you were filling this with sweets or something smaller, you might want to glue down this hinge to the inside as well and have your box open so that you just tip your sweets forward, as it were. So that is an alternative for the box. So this is now ready for decoration. Here's the finished box. You can see I've just added DSP onto all of the sides and onto the angled sections, and that's the only decoration that I've added at this point. The box does come together quite quickly, and I'm very pleased with how this one has come out, and I like the overall look of the box. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.